All right, here we go. It is the nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get yourself down to Dayton, Kentucky. Get in on the action. Get yourself some fried chicken, some chicken tendies, some Galactic sauce. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. Or, like I said, get on the app. Have them bring it to you. Call ahead. Get your tailgate taken care of. Get your watch party at your house taken care of. Whatever the case may be, Galactic Fried Chicken will be happy to help you out. All right, Aaron. It is Friday night, which means we've kind of gotten away from this because there's been other stuff popping off. But our Friday night show is supposed to be our three keys to the game.
Yes.
So I will let you take the lead as Cincinnati gets ready to take on Indiana. 3:30 tomorrow, Nippert Stadium. The game is on ESPN2. On radio, you can find it on WEBN. Let's see it. The big reveal.
The big reveal. All right, number one. Hold onto the ball. Ball security. Fumbling 5 times is inexcusable. I don't want to see this team ever. Like, not this year, not next year, not 3 years from now, not 7 years from now. I don't want to see this team fumble 5 times in a game outside of torrential downpour. Maybe you can excuse it then.
To be fair, they only lost 2.
Sure. That's called luck. Like, that's putting yourself in a bad position.
Fair. But I just, for people watching that might be like, I don't remember.
What did I watch? I
don't remember 5 fumbles.
But five fumbles is crazy, right? Like,
yeah,
and
it's a lot.
I'll say if you fumble 3 times in a game, even 3 times, the 3 times that they retrieved the ball, to fumble 3 times in a game and come up with all 3, that's extremely lucky. So to fumble 5 times and only lose the ball twice, whew. That's my first key point, though. You cannot fumble the ball. Second point, splash plays by my definition. Offensive plays of 20 plus yards. I want 10 or more. I'm being a little selfish here, and of course I'm going to be happy if they run the ball, if they pass the ball, even if it's dink and dunk down the field for all the yards. I'll be happy. I'll be ecstatic if they have 10 or more plays of those 20 plus yards. That's a huge ask. That's I understand that. That's asking for 200 yards of offense. I know what I'm asking for. It's obscene.
Indiana is a team
that struggled defensively.
They give up a lot of big plays.
Correct. So I don't know that against this particular team that's a giant ask, but I understand I'm asking for the moon and hoping to land amongst the stars. But you
also understand that splash plays are 15 yards.
Not my definition. Number 3, defensive backs. This is a key on a group that I think needs to be locked in this game. The quarterback is not mobile, so you're not going to deal with a mobile quarterback this week as you have the previous 3 weeks. So you have to make sure that he's not passing the ball on you all over the place. And I think the defensive backs really have to step up. Arquan can't be giving up big plays and trying to redeem himself with an interception late therein. Jaquan needs to continue to play as he has been playing. Hicks has to do a lot of the same. Threats, a lot of the same.
I'll add another disclaimer. It is normal for teams to complete a couple long passes.
I understand. I know
people. What did we talk about before the season?
I know.
We have to retrain ourselves that if there's one big play or 2 big plays, that happens.
I don't want Indiana over 250 in the air.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably around where you want to keep them at or below. I think that's
I think that's
anything over 250, and they probably move the ball.
Then you're flirting with disaster.
Yeah.
You're certainly not covering the spread if you're allowing over 250.
Well, that's
depending on turnovers.
Or
this is me talking
you
in
get
generalization.
or you get up big, and all they can do
is pass the ball.
Is pass. So I mean, there are exceptions to. I get what you're saying. I'm just like I don't love the you can't give up more than 250.
I'm saying if you're setting a bar for where you want to be, though, I think
you would like to keep them under 250.
If you keep them under 250, I think you have the game in hand.
I agree.
Truthfully,
I agree. No, I think you're. I think some of our points here are going to overlap.
Sure.
I agree for the most part with where your head is at, though.
And again, I know what I'm asking for with that number 2 point, and I asking for 200 yards in big plays plus is a giant ask. But
all right, mine usually are yours are sentences, mine are points. It's a different approach. Yeah. As is always the case with you and I. You do yours one way, and I do mine.
I'm a chronic overthinker. You are a minimalist.
A chronic underthinker. Like it is what it is. Don't start slow. Like there's this, got to start fast, got to start fast, got to start fast. Well, we haven't seen this team prove that they're going to be a team that starts fast, right?
You don't have to take the top off the defense on the first play of the game, a la Miami last year.
No, what I'm talking about is when I think of start slow, start fast, I think of what's the score at the end of the first quarter?
Yeah. Yeah.
It can't be
10-0.
14-3 Indiana. 10-0 Indiana. If it's 7-3 Cincinnati, I feel really good about where that game is headed. So don't start slow. You don't have to put the pressure on yourself of we got to go out and score on our first three times we touch the ball and shut them out and be up 21-0 in the middle of the second quarter.
This isn't last year. This isn't last year. You're not playing for points. You're not playing for style points. You're not, know.
You play to win the game and get fired on the field.
Ooh, if we got time, we may have to touch on that, but
it didn't happen. It was false.
There's more I want to talk about on that if we have time.
Okay.
Go on.
But don't start slow. Put yourself in a position where you're comfortable going into the second quarter. Don't put yourself in a position where you're oh God, now we're out of rhythm. We're out of what we want to do play calling wise. We're out of sync. So start reasonably. Have a reasonable start, just not a disastrous start. Because we've seen a couple disastrous starts with a pick six against Arkansas on the first drive and then 17-7, Miami leading.
Yeah, Miami could have been disastrous.
Yes. Pressure up front. This team is, Indiana is limping along the offensive line. They are on their third team center. They have a couple other injuries, some that I think guys are probably going to play through, but we need to see this defensive line start to get to the quarterback.
I love Juwan Briggs' response when asked about there being a third center in the lineup. He's like, this could be their best center. You underestimate no one. You always look at it as if it's the best five they have out there, and you just go.
Perfect example. I'm sure a lot of people thought when the news broke of Jake Renfro being out at center and playing a guy that had never really in a game played center before, that center was going to be a massive issue for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Have you noticed the center at all?
Gavin's filled in very well.
Gavin's been very, very good. There's some belief in this inside the program. Gavin might be the best center on the team.
I mean, you're obviously, if you put Jake next year at guard, you're looking at maybe avoiding some injuries.
Potentially. It's like putting one of your best players at catcher, right?
I don't want to talk about
that. Make them pay, Aaron. This is a quarterback, Connor Bazelak, who is inconsistent. He hits some big plays. He's going to hit some big plays, but he only completes 54% of his passes. And guess what happens when you have a quarterback that struggles to complete a lot of throws? There are a lot of balls in the air that your defensive backs have the chance to take away. Everybody wants to talk about the offense needs to stop with the turnovers, which I obviously agree with. I also think this defense needs to do a better job taking the ball away as we get into the meat of this season. They have been okay at that. I do not feel like it has been a strength to this point like it has in years past. If the quarterback is going to give you opportunities and he's only going to complete 54% of his passes, that means there's a lot of balls in the air that are not going to be caught by the Indiana receivers. Make them pay.
And I guess when you're losing in the turnover battle, as I feel like they have been more often than not this season, you have to figure out a way to flip that, right? I think this is an opportunity when you have a guy who's not the most accurate passer, yet they continue to pass more often than not. That's
it's because they can't run.
Oh, that's a whole different conversation,
right? So yeah, that's kind of get to the quarterback, get him off his spot, and 2 and 3 kind of go hand in hand. If you're making him move, he's not a guy that moves well. Nope. If you're moving him and he's already not accurate, you're going to have some opportunity to take it the other way. And that's something that I think that is a huge key. And then offensively, just stay consistent, stay rolling. Don't have these wild swings where you turn it over, it's a cluster, boom, touchdown. And then 3 and out, and then touchdown. Like, you've got to find some consistency offensively where it's not just like, 7 plays and 75 yards, or it's disaster. So there you go. There's my 3 keys.
Since we have a little bit of time here, I know you
does not agree.
I know you brought up the Herm Edwards getting fired on the field. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. And
the word is he didn't.
Well, you saw. I know you were in the hospital today. And I assume you didn't see, but it's being rumored and speculated that boosters were giving away the playbook.
Was it boosters? I thought it was like, and I obviously didn't really. I thought it was.
I didn't read. I only read headlines.
What I saw was support staffers, like people in the building.
That's a mess. Regardless, whatever it is, whether it's boosters, whether it's support staffers, whoever is aiding the other team, if that's indeed the case,
yeah,
holy shit, what a mess.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be.
That's
not a good, like, if you're worried about moles in your football offices,
in your staff, in the people who are donating money, whoever the case may be.
Well, the boosters, I guess you can. I've seen it done before where boosters have been no longer carte blanche. But like, if it's support staff, if it's people that work there, don't you have to clean house?
The whole everyone has to go.
Everyone must go.
They're not you burn the whole thing down.
Athletic director,
all of them.
Everyone. SID, video staff,
compliance.
Yeah, everybody.
Anyone who knows anything about the program.
Like a big box electronics store. Like, everything must go.
I can't imagine if that was even a hint of rumor going on around here.
Oh.
Regardless of the program.
Right.
Men's, women's, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Basketball, football, baseball, like, I want nothing of this story to touch Cincinnati's grounds ever.
It's ugly. It's ugly. There was something a couple years back, I recall. I think it involved maybe Louisville, that somebody, I think somebody for Petrino was giving out,
Not to be confused with Patino.
Right. Was giving out like information to his former staff. Like it's something weird. I think it was down there, but it's not something you hear of very often, and it's wild.
Yeah. Again, I cannot imagine if that was something that this school was dealing with, how that would be even remotely graciously handled by the fans. Like there would be mutiny in this town.
Hi, Tiger. Tiger's very sad right now.
Well,
he is. He really wants to know why his mama has not been home.
The hell's going
days.
On here? Well,
he just puts his nose in the corner.
We'll let you get back to the dogs. Get back to your daughter.
So she's a teenager now. She's in her room, nose in her phone. We'll see you back here tomorrow night after the Bearcats and the Hoosiers at Nippert Stadium. Thanks to Galactic Fried Chicken. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!